This is it. Here we go. It's streaming live on Facebook.
Fantastic.
Hi, Liesl.
Hello. How are you?
Good. So quick introduction. I'm Angela. Those of you who are watching us live on Facebook, hello, we're on Facebook. I think I can do this with our, I think I can do that with our gallery view. So then it's like we're sitting next to each other, even though I'm 6 miles away from you. Right? Isn't that about what it is?
About that.
This is an incredible Thousandaire leader on our Living Well Now team, Liesl van den Bussche, who's coming to us live for the purpose of, the intention of giving us some Wednesday wisdom. You know, I'm all about alliteration, so I love when my days line up like this. So Liesl, thanks for being willing.
Sure, no problem.
Thanks for being willing and able and beautiful to boot.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So we know that a lot of people end up watching our videos, and I just realized my light is a little funky. A lot of people end up watching our videos late at night when it's dark and they're, tired. They put their kids to bed, they're exhausted, and they're wondering, why could I do one more thing? And you, my dear, have always impressed me as a person who has an incredible entrepreneurial kind of persona. But I don't know if that's your origination. Could you tell us a little bit about how you started or where that drive or determination has come from in the last few years? I know we're going to take some time through this, but
yeah,
give us your backstory.
Sounds good. And thank you for your very kind words and the encouragement that's a little dark. I'm hoping that means they won't see the dust on my ceiling fan.
Dust on the ceiling fan. Let's not even go there.
I can adjust my screen. There you go. Now you really can't see it. So a little bit about me. At the time that I was introduced to Young Living, I was actually a school library clerk, and I'd been doing that for several years and had a kiddo that was entering high school. She was about to be a freshman, and I had just gotten to the end of the summer, and honestly, I was already dreading going back in the fall. I know you come from a teaching background, so you can probably understand some of that, even though you love what you're doing, the dread of, the time away from the family, the full-time hours, all of that. So I, loved what I was doing, but was concerned with a kiddo going into high school because it occurred to me I have 4 years left with this child under my roof, and I really want to make the most of that time. So a friend at that time had actually introduced me to Young Living and said, hey, I'm hosting this class. Why don't you come and learn a little bit more about the products? And that's what I chose to do because at the time I needed a little support for some, neck and shoulder things that were giving me some problems. And so I came to see if maybe that would be the missing piece to what I was already doing, and found out very quickly. I know you know about an oil called Panaway. That was kind of my gateway oil. And I, put that on my neck and shoulders and immediately fell in love with it and realized that night, okay, if this one oil is this great, all of these oils are amazing. And I honestly didn't think that I would use all the oils that were in our starter kit. I knew I would use probably 2 or 3, but I decided the best way to get started was just get all of them. And that's kind of when my journey with the business began. I was driving home from that class, had my kit in hand, and this light bulb went off, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is what I'm going to do. And I started sharing with some friends that summer, and then that fall, I actually resigned my library position and did not go back full time to doing that. And the last 4.5 years, I've been sharing with people, building a business in part-time hours, and loving what I'm doing. I mentioned my kiddo that was going into high school. She's now a freshman in college. Just took her back down to school last night, and it's been great. I didn't have to say no to missing any of her events in high school. I was there for all of her band competitions and still able to make an income. So it's been a great move for our family.
I love that, and I can remember, you in those first few days, weeks, not going back to the library, saying, okay, tell me what to read, show me what to do. How, where does somebody start if they are just getting started? Like, what is it, what would you say are some of your struggles, or what have you learned along the way? We can kind of combine those, I think.
Yeah, you know that I'm my personality type is such that I had to know all the things and had to know all the answers. I laugh about that now because I really didn't need anything other than this, kit of oils and a desire to share with people, and I had those two things. So honestly, that's all I needed. That's all anybody needs to get started. Um, I've kind of learned, along the way that the things that I've struggled with, doubting myself and, wondering what are people going to think about what I'm doing for a living. They're going to think I'm crazy when I tell them what I'm doing. I wondered if I knew the business model was sound. I knew that people could make money doing this, but I honestly, at that time, thought maybe it's just a couple people that can do it. And I've since seen other than that. So it's been great kind of letting that unfold and learn that as I go.
Yeah. What advice would you have for somebody who's just getting started? Like if we could rewind time, what could I have said to you?
Well,
That
you said all the things. You said all the right things. Honestly, at the time, I think I was so caught up in, some of the thoughts that I didn't know I could do this and self-doubt and all that. I would tell anybody getting started now, you have everything you need in front of you. I mean, we've got an amazing supportive community that provided me all of the resources that I needed. I didn't have to reinvent the wheel. You know me, I was stubborn and I tried. And I would tell someone else getting started, don't waste your time. Don't spin your wheels. Just do what's in front of you. If you have a desire to learn some new skills that anybody can learn, you don't need to have a college degree. This girl does not have a college degree. So you don't need to have that. But if you can learn some skills that anybody can and you practice those skills, you are coachable, you have a desire to do this, you can be successful with it. It's available to anybody that's willing to put in, the time and the effort.
Well, and one thing I want to just again hold you up as such a great model for is you were that person. You were hungry, you were coachable, you knew that an income, you creating an income while Haley was young, while she was still at home, would provide you both opportunities. So I know we'll probably have mamas listening tonight who are like, gosh, I wish I would have known or could be doing this. And you got started in part-time hours and
Right.
and are still able to do this in part-time hours, as well as helping your husband in some of what he does as well. And
Right.
so there's a great camaraderie, I think, that you bring. But what I really wanted to say
Thank you.
out of all of that was you also have committed to your investing in your personal and professional development.
Yes.
And I, even in the very first year you started building your business, you attended an event I missed. And I remember thinking like, wow, she's not kidding. She's serious about this. You were
Daddy,
up in
good job.
Vegas. Yeah, it was awesome. And you haven't quit since. And I think and I want other people to know, tell us about the events you've been to. What do you take away from those? What do you let go of at those events? What is it that's super powerful for you?
Wow. So yes, as you mentioned, I went to my first event it was just a couple months into my business. And the very quick version is I traveled with people I didn't know. I said yes before I thought about it. I just blurted out, yep, I'll take one of those, 2 tickets you have left. And so my advice to anybody would be just say yes. Don't worry about the details. Just say yes because the details always work themselves out. That philosophy's never let me down since. I have been to GoPro, for example. I think this was my 5th year going. I've not missed a year. I had one year where I'd had spinal surgery and went 6 weeks after having a discectomy in my neck. Didn't miss it. I almost did, very honestly, but I chose to push forward and do it anyway, and I'm glad I did. I have been to all but one Ignite because I hadn't started yet. So I've been to every Ignite that we have here in the Valley, which is an amazing event. And plugging into those events, number one, builds belief in yourself, which so many of us lack. And I know you'd mentioned mamas, and I want to speak to your mama hearts now if you are listening. I was a mama in my 40s and just like I said, no college degree. And I thought, gosh, how do I start my life over? How do I find this career in my 40s? And it's totally doable, but you have to believe in you. So going to events helps you believe in you, helps you believe in the company that you've chosen. And I'll tell you, this is the absolute best company anybody could choose to be with. Everything about it is incredible, from the community to the heart of the company. and the products that we, get to share with people. And it builds belief in the business model. And that's what I think I've gotten from going to events. And then the doubts and the personal things that, the messages we grow up with, the things we hear, that are negative. Sometimes they're easier to believe. And when you go to events, you get to shed that stuff off. Leave it in Vegas, leave it in California, leave it wherever these events are that you're going. Come home refreshed, renewed, and feeling good about the decisions you've made.
Yep. Yep. I love that. Thank you. You've said it just right. And I know so many people are going to get value out of this. And I like that you're bringing up too, Liesl. I often lose track of the fact that, that you're not a college grad, because and a lot of people aren't. And you're showing by your example just what it means. I mean, again, to step into a new role for yourself, a new career, like you said, in your 40s, whereas most people have been in a career for 20 plus years at that point.
Right.
You got to stay home with your baby when she was little. You were at her school when she was in elementary school. You figured out volunteering, like extra hours for the band, beyond just going to band competitions. I'm pretty sure you were driving the bus to get there, basically. Not really, but
Everything but drive the bus. Yes.
yeah, right. But the idea that you prioritize things in your life to allow for reinventing yourself at every turn.
Right.
I know we talk a lot in our team about thousandaire earner, and not everybody's familiar with that. So I always feel like I need to kind of explain, like, we know that not everyone who jumps into network marketing is going to become a millionaire, right? That's not that, flashy cars and cool shoes, are still a thing for us, but they aren't a million. We aren't focused on creating millionaires. We're focused on creating thousandaires, which in the Young Living income disclosure is a silver leader and above. And I know that you have been super consistent at that rank and excited about what's next for you and your team. What earning $1,000 a month extra with your business, how has that changed you? How has that impacted you?
Well, I'll tell you the things that I told you earlier, that there were doubts in the beginning. Can I do this? Am I going to fail? Wondering if people are going to think I'm nuts. To grow into the kind of leader that makes that kind of money and beyond, because that's where I'm headed, you shed those things off. I don't doubt that anymore. I know that that's what's happening. So, to make that kind of an income and beyond, you definitely have to grow into that leader. And, when you get to the point that I'm at now, you're growing into that next level, which is amazing. I think, especially as mamas, speaking to that piece again, I don't know if anyone else can relate to this. You lose a little bit of you. We love our babies. We pour everything we have into those babies. And sometimes we lose who we are along the way. And it's helped me kind of figure out who I am again, and kind of fall in love with that person, to be honest with you. And it just makes me want to continue to grow into that and then share that with other people, because so many other people need that message of hope and to know that they can do this, whether they want to make $300 a month or they want to make thousands of dollars a month. It's up to them, and there's a space for them here on our team.
Yeah, absolutely. And Liesl, you are growing an incredible team of leaders. We were just with them last week, leading out at a continued education event at one of our local spots here in Peoria, Arizona. And one of the things I love watching is how graciously you invite leaders to step forward, and how this isn't a Liesl show. This is let's run this as a team. Let's do this together. And you're always lifting up other leaders, and they trust you for the next step, because they also have dreams and vision for what their lives can hold. So I super grateful to that what I see in you. What are you very excited about as you consider the next part of your journey?
Wow. I would tell you personally, I'm excited to have the kind of income where we can be completely debt free. I know so many people in the US and around the world are just buried under crippling debt, and you can't live your best life when you're living like that. So I'm really excited that for us, we're, paying down debt, we're getting debt free, which is amazing. And I'm excited to be able to share that with other people, because I know that, that's something a lot of people struggle with. And it's something I feel pretty passionate about. I mentioned the kiddo in college. We are thrilled that we're putting her through college debt-free. That's incredible to give an 18-year-old kid, 4 years of an education to graduate without that debt. So many in America are doing that and graduating with this debt, and they're starting life as young adults under this burden. I don't want that for my girl. So I'm excited to give her that opportunity so she doesn't have to do that. And my dreams seem to grow bigger and bigger every day. And knowing that I can contribute to things around the world that mean so much to me, and I get to be a part of that, whether I'm physically there helping because I have the means to do it and the time freedom to do it, or I can help with my dollars. I love that I get to be a part of that. So much to be excited about.
Woo! I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Anything that we didn't get to go over tonight, I would love to give you just the floor to, close us out with more words of wisdom. You've been incredibly helpful to so many people already. I'm sure with this video, and this will live forever. Not just on Facebook, but we're actually pulling our videos off now and putting them on YouTube, and there'll be lots of places for people to intersect with you. Anything that you want to leave us with?
I just want to say first off, thank you, because the kind things that you say about me and the things you see in me are things that you have helped to develop in me. Our entire team of leadership that has gone before me has modeled that for me. And so that's what I aspire to, and that's what I grow into, and that's what I choose for myself and my team. So thank you for that, first off. And I just want to tell anyone that's thinking about doing this, or someone that's just starting out and doing this, don't get caught up in worrying about it being perfect. There's never the perfect time. Just do it, fail forward, figure it out as you go. Always be curious about people, ask lots of questions, love people where they're at. As we mentioned earlier, be coachable, plug into a system that is simple and that duplicates, and we have that here. Thank you for that. Surround yourself with a positive community. I think being around the people that we're around that lift you up daily makes it easy to do the things that we do and continue sharing and push through the times that are hard, because let's be honest, there's times that are hard in any career, ours included, right?
Yeah.
So being around people that lift you up makes a huge difference. So thank you.
Yes. Thanks for sending us out tonight, Liesl. This has been awesome, and appreciate your time very, very much. And I know others will too.
Thank you. It was fun.
And not super scary and overwhelming.
Not at all.
I love it. All right. Thanks, everybody. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.